Yeah, we are. Are we live? I seem to be having a few technical. Yes, we are live. I'm having a few technical difficulties at the moment, so please
Yeah,
bear
we
with
are.
me. My camera seems to have backfired upon me. So one moment, you can hear me, I hope. Can
Are
you
we
hear me if you're
live?
in the
I
chat?
seem to be having a few technical.
PC camera. Yes, we are live. I'm
There we
having
go.
a few technical difficulties at the moment,
Let's
so
see how that goes.
please
Yeah,
bear
we
with
are.
me. My camera seems to have backfired
I seem
upon
to have
me. So
double
one moment,
screen
you
at the
can hear me,
moment.
I hope.
Are
Can you
we
hear me if
live?
you're in the
I
chat?
seem to be having a few technical.
PC camera. Yes, we are live. I'm
There we
having
go.
a few technical difficulties at the moment,
Let's
so
see how that goes.
please
Oh
bear
joy,
with me.
what's going on here?
My camera
Hello, can you hear
seems
me?
to have
Nothing seems to be
backfired
working. I seem
upon
to
me.
have
So
double
one moment,
screen
you
at the
can hear me,
moment.
I hope.
Are
Can you
we
hear me if you're
live?
in the
I
chat?
seem to be having a few technical.
There we go.
Camera. Turn down desktop audio. That should help. Sorry about that. I normally mute that. Camera now. Oh dear, what's I seem to be having problems with my USB camera. Ah, there we go. You should be able to see me in a second. There we go. Yeah, I forgot to turn down the volume on YouTube because I normally turn down the volume, so there's no. I'm still trying to adjust my camera angle. It's been a while since I've done this. Oh dear. Try not to knock my camera down, to be honest with you. Oh, crikey. Oh, that's my fan. I am. Ugh. I beg your pardon. I do beg your pardon. I'm all fingers and thumbs today. Fingers and thumbs. Fingers and thumbs. Um. Well. I'm. Good grief. That's better. That's better. That's better. You can see my nano gauntlet now next to my Lego Iron Man. Bingo. Excuse me whilst I just have a swig of water in my 2 litre bottle that my sister got me for my birthday back in July. I very nearly killed my throat today, actually. I recorded some audio for Lord of War and Heartache, and I decided to voice General Jericho for an entire script. And of course, because he has such a gravelly voice, I literally killed my vocal cords. I had a sore throat for about an hour afterwards. Um, so yeah, I kind of lost my voice for about an hour. Um, Fortunately, it came back, ironically, after I had some lunch. Um, if you're a content creator or a voice actor of any kind, try to avoid doing a gravelly voice. It's I need to get a voice changer that does it for me so I don't have to. Um, but yes, I recorded 3 scripts. I wrote one script in the space of about 10 minutes. Very quick for me, but I already had the idea in mind what I wanted to do with it. Um, so today has been incredibly productive. I'm very happy with how today has gone. Um, Even my sort of household chores went by quickly because I did the washing up last night. So, I did the dishes last night, so there was very little washing up to do in the kitchen, and all I had to do today was put out the recycling in the recycling bin. So, win-win. It's been a great day today. Um, Hot as well. I mean, I think today has reached about 33 degrees centigrade here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit because I don't really know. Um, just keeping an eye on my WhatsApp because I've got fishless fish fingers cooking in the oven um, for my evening meal. So if I disappear, I've gone down to get my fishless fish finger sandwiches, and they're made with. If I recall, I know it's made with peas. It's so good because the way they make it, you almost imagine you're eating real fish. It is really good. Um, I've had it in the form of um, fish like you get from a fish and chip shop. But yeah, if if you can't eat fish, but you want to eat something like fish, um, what I now call fishless fish is the way to go forward. Um, so it's really good stuff, um, especially with homemade potato chips. Well, chips, yeah. Um, French fries for my American friends, of course. Um, but I mean, you can't beat real chips from a chippy here in the UK. Um, Not so much in Yorkshire because they cook a lot of their fish and chip shops up in Yorkshire cook in beef fat. The majority of fish and chip shops in Britain cook in a vegetable oil. One or two of them do peanut oil, which is why they have to put out an allergy warning. But very few of them actually cook in peanut oil. Um, Vegetable oil is the main chip shop uh, oil of choice, except up in Yorkshire where you have to search for a chip shop that doesn't do beef fat oil. And they are there. There are a few. There's a very good one in Whitby. Um, Besides that, anyway, I'm rambling on about fish and chips, um, which is a very, very British institution, shall we say. Um, where was I? Oh yes, I've had a quite a few busy weeks. I've taken up doing voluntary work, um, which is quite exciting. I have taken up voluntary work in the heritage sector, so it's unpaid. Um, and I am a room guide for the National Trust. I'm sorry, I keep going cross-eyed. I'm looking at the camera and I keep going cross-eyed. Um, but I am a room guide at Knoll in Sevenoaks, and I mean, there's a chair and everything, so I don't have to stand all the time, which is good. Um, but it just gets me out of the house a couple of times a week. I'm looking at doing Mondays and Tuesdays and it's my passion. History is my passion, and Knoll itself is an amazing property. To any of my friends from overseas, oh, it's absolute fun, Sage. Absolute fun. I have met so many amazing people, and they've pointed out things to me that I've never even noticed before as a visitor to this property. It is incredible. Um, I can show you. I can show you um, some pictures. Let me just not not my pictures, but I can show you what it looks like. So here's a picture of where I'm volunteering. That is the entrance there. This was taken quite a long time ago because there's now a big sign outside of here, and that sign on the door has now disappeared. So this is the front um, entrance, and this is probably taken before you could actually go inside this tower. This is the Gatehouse Tower, where it was the residence of Eddie Sackville West, who was the fifth Baron Sackville West, and he didn't actually want to inherit Noel from his uncle. I think it was his. I need to do my research. Don't quote me on that. And um, he lived in this attic and this area here, where is actually um, now part of the National Trust offices. Hi, Miss Sheik. I'm just showing where Knoll. It's where Knoll in Sevenoaks, Kent. It's where I'm volunteering as a room guide. Um, it's not a castle as it says up here. It's actually a. It was built in 1465 by Thomas Bourchier, who was Archbishop of Canterbury. So it started out life as an archbishop's palace. Then when Thomas Cromwell was it Thomas Cromwell? Yes, Archbishop Thomas Cromwell was uh, in charge of Canterbury. Henry VIII took it off him because it was prime hunting ground, and there are deer all around the house in the park. Red deer, I think. Um, so there's some more. That's Knoll from the air. So the showroom, the show houses are this section here, the Great Hall, and this section here. And you come round and down and out. So this is the clock tower. This isn't open to the public. This bit is. This is a very old photo because down here you've now got the Brewhouse Cafe, which is lovely. If you want a good cup of coffee, go to the Brewhouse Cafe at Knoll, which is owned by the National Trust as well. Um, I'll see if I can find some interiors to give you an idea of what I get to look at all the time I am there. Right, you are in for a treat. So these are the rooms that I steward in. We'll start off with the Great Hall. Now, this is only a small picture. This table has now been moved over there, but they've completely. I mean, this is an old photo. All the photos that I'll show you here from the internet are old. They had a major renovation work done in 2016. Yeah, I can see that actually because it was built sort of around the time of the chateaus first becoming. So this is the Great Hall. This is the Great Screen. Above there is a minstrel's gallery. Um, the way I would describe, oh yes, that painting has now been moved to the ballroom. So there's some new paintings. There's some alternative paintings there, and that one's been moved to the Leicester Gallery in the house. So that is actually the fourth Duke being made Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports. So that's Dover Castle in the background there, and here is the Duke and his entourage becoming the fourth Duke of Dorset. It started out with being owned by Thomas Sackville, first Earl of Dorset, who purchased it from Elizabeth I. Oh, if you're hearing cheering, it's because my mum's watching the rugby. Um, oh, Miss Sheik, you don't even realise the inspiration. Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely yes. It is a big inspiration to me. This is my probably my favourite area. This is the Brown Gallery. Um, these are all now um tape, tape uh fenced off basically because these are all original Stuart era chairs. Um, a lot of them were rescued from. Whitehall Palace in London. But they actually came with the through the marriage of the no, I've forgotten. So I'm not gonna make up any facts. I'm just gonna tell you the facts that I know. I do know that these a lot of these chairs came from Whitehall Palace, so they were rescued before the palace actually burnt down. The only part of Whitehall Palace left is the banqueting house in Westminster, just up the road from Westminster Abbey and Houses of Parliament. So because they were rescued, um, they were bought from a place called Copton Hall through marriage to Knoll. So they are a lot of them have been sort of restored, or well, no, not restored, but conserved. They now have an on-site conservation studio, which is very good because they're able to conserve the painting. They don't have to send anything away to be conserved. It can all be done on site, which I think is fantastic because it saves in money. It saves because they're very big on the environment. It saves on cost. It saves on what's the word I'm thinking of? Carbon footprint. It saves on carbon footprint as well. So, having the facilities on site to conserve their own artifacts is very important. It is actually one of their sort of. Um, why is there a picture of a modern room? Uh, Now, this is the last room that you visit. This is the cartoon gallery, and it's called the car. Oh, but that's no good. Let's see if I can. Here we go. There we go. Oh, it's small. But these images here, there's 6 of them in total. Today's hello or pure ASMR, as I should also know you. Um, I'm just showing photos from the internet of where I am volunteering. Knoll House in Sevenoaks, Kent. Um, I'm just showing the cartoon gallery. Interesting fact: the term cartoon comes from the Italian word cartoni, which means large sheet of paper. These paintings, and there's 6 of them on display in Knoll. Oh, quite some time. I will be disappearing. Oh, I've just got to go and disappear because I'm going to go and get my fishless fish finger sandwiches, and I'll bring them up, and I'll be back. So I'll be back with you in just a moment. And I'm back in the room. I've just got my fishless fish finger sandwiches with eggless mayonnaise. So don't mind me if I have a quick bite. No, no, that's absolutely fine, Sage. Excuse me. You carry on. You absolutely carry on. Because I know how much work you put into your content, which is a lot. I absolutely adore your content. Anyway, yeah, I was showing you I was showing you Knoll images from the internet. So we're back on. Some of these images are not of Knoll. This one is the ballroom. Let's try and find one. Let's try and find one that's worth trying to look at. Oh, that one's the Reynolds room. Mm. There we go. Mm. This is the ballroom. It was actually Thomas Sackville's reception room, but in later years it was known as the ballroom. All the oh, the joy, oh, good, yes, yes. How is the family, Sage? I hope they're all doing well. Um, now there's the painting I pointed out when I showed you the Great Hall. This is now this is a more recent photo. The fireplace is marble, and it's Bethston marble from Sussex. Yeah, or is it in Kent? No, it's in Kent. It's not far from Sevenoaks. Um, but all the wood paneling, the painting, the ceilings, and the marble fireplace. Yes, yeah. I actually started volunteering during the end of the summer holidays, so um, I was interacting with a lot of children of all ages for a few weeks, and it was very interesting. Children, I will say this, children have such wonderful imaginations. Um, whilst I was shadowing one of the other guides, a child came up to me to ask me where the Mona Lisa is. And I sort of looked down and I smiled and went, "Oh, sorry about that. You're about 500 miles away from it, I'm afraid." I don't know how far Paris is from where I am, but it just feels like a long way. Um, I'm sure it isn't as far as 500 miles, but you know, I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be that man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at jo, do, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. He says, holding a bit of sandwich. Mm. But you know, all the sort of, because I will admit, I've always been wary around children. I'm actually the official club photographer for Tunbridge Model Railway Club at our annual exhibition. And obviously, I have a badge saying official photographer, um, and a sort of name badge that also says official photographer. But even so, when a model railway layout is surrounded by children, um, you become very, very aware when taking photos of the layouts on display. And I can show you an example. Hopefully, I can show you an example uh, of the exhibition. Yeah, here we go. No, that isn't us. That's Milton Keynes, but they obviously meet in a similar place, in a sports hall. We hold our annual exhibition every third Sunday in the Angel Centre in Tunbridge, and I'm there as a steward and as the club photographer. Moreover, the club photographer, um, mainly because I can't do any heavy lifting. It um, it is what it is, really, as the saying goes. I don't like using that term, but you have to go with what you know. Uh, let's see if I can find our web. I might even have our website. Okay, perfect. Perfect. This is actually from the club website. So this is part of our exhibition at the Angel Centre. And this will be one of my, I think it's one of my photos, might not be. Because obviously my photos get included. But you can see how busy it gets. And this is probably around first thing in the morning, sort of around 10 o'clock. The families don't sort of come in till about 11, 12. But as you can see, it does get pretty crowded around the layouts. And you do become aware of it, especially when there's children, because obviously parents are very protective, and rightly so. It does make a difference when you've got a badge on, telling them who you are and what you're doing. Um, but I've always been very aware of it. Um, but yeah, if anyone's interested, um, blimey, we've got our dates up for the next 3 years. That I was unaware of. But yeah, I'll show you some of the. We got Whittingdon is our 009 no, 016 narrow gauge layout. Westrum is our O gauge layout based upon the old station at Westrum, which is no longer there. Part of the route was demolished to build the M25 motorway. Hobbs Hill is actually a club members layout, so that is there's the hand of yours truly in the left hand corner. This is the layout I'm building with my best friend Stu. It's based on the Bluebell Railway, and as you can see, we've got the layout here. So we're going to have two fiddle yards at each end, a fiddle yard at each end, so we can run trains straight from forth. And of course, it shares the fiddle yards with Beaminster. Faversham is another members layout, as is Tyneham Bay, which is under construction. Watford is another members layout. Southwark Bridge is another members layout. That's N-gauge. That is a portable layout that's being built. It hasn't got any name yet. Strood Dock is the layout owned by my best mate's dad, and that's it. That's the other thing I do. So I'm there once a week on a Thursday if I'm not doing anything else. I'm there more or less every week if I can make it. But I live for doing all these hobbies and things. Just go to live chat. That helps. And yeah, just going back to that screen. I've tried that Chat GPT just out of curiosity. It's interesting. That's what I'm going to say. It's interesting. It's the AI chat thing. And I've had a few good results and a few results that didn't, nothing bad, but not to my satisfaction. So obviously I've got all my social media there. Let's get me back on screen. So yeah, I've been shadowing people at Knoll for about 6 weeks now, and I finally have my name in my volunteers badge. I won't show it to you, but I've got two lanyards on it. I've got one with leopards on it because the leopard is the official emblem of the Sackville family. It's part of their crest now. And the other one is a lanyard that shows support for the LGBTQAI plus community, because National Trust is very big on equality, and it fits in with my um, personal um, thoughts and feelings, shall we say. Um, so, you know, I love doing what I do. I'm aiming to be there Mondays and Tuesdays. So if you live in Kent or you're visiting Kent, and you're a member of the National Trust, especially, I do recommend a visit to Knoll. It's fantastic. Um, and as I said, the Brewhouse Cafe does some really good coffee in there. And they do alternative milks, which I'm really happy about. My favourite being oat milk. An oat milk latte. Oh my god. They do one of the best oat milk lattes I have ever tasted. Smooth, doesn't burn your mouth like some coffee. Um, I mean, I have various favourite coffee places around, and when I'm out with my parents, um, and it really does make a difference when you find a decent coffee and alternatives to milk. Most of them do soya milk and oat milk. Oh, Sage, you would absolutely love Kent. It's full of history. It's full of, I mean, Canterbury, the principal city of Kent. It's not the county town. Maidstone is the county town of Kent. Um, but I also recommend Sussex, which is next door to Kent, to the west. It's actually split into two counties, East and West Sussex. East Sussex, you have Hastings. On the border of East Sussex, you got Rye, Winchelsea. As I said, Hastings. What else? What else? New Haven. New Haven has the Victorian fort, but from what I understand, New Haven is a bit of a swings and roundabouts town. Um, and then further along in West Sussex, you've got Eastbourne. No, Eastbourne is in East Sussex. Then you've got Brighton, uh, Shoreham. No, Brighton, Hove, Shoreham, down to Bognor Regis and Littlehampton and Chichester. And then obviously you're in Hampshire. So you've got, and then after Chichester, you've got Pompey, Portsmouth, Southampton, working down to Bournemouth in Dorset, and then line read. I could go on all day about um, the geographical locations on the south coast of England. To be honest with you, but I won't. Um, but Kent, yeah, I mean, my hometown has a castle. Well, I say castle; it's a gatehouse with a big motte. Um, it was a Motte and Bailey castle, so it never really got to the same scale as, say, Windsor in Berkshire. It never really became a major castle, but it's still worth a visit. It's still very photographic. Um, and of course, we got a big park we call the sports ground or the race course, because in the 19th century and early 20th century, my hometown used to host horse racing. Um, but we also had a cricket ground as well back in the 20 early 20th century, but that all went in the 60s. So I never got to enjoy cricket locally in my hometown. Um, but obviously, if you're not into cricket, that bit of history is by the by. Um, But yeah, you've got Royal Tunbridge Wells, you've got Canterbury, you've got Maidstone, you've got Sevenoaks, Orpington, which is basically on the cusp of Greater London. Um, where else? Dover, Folkestone, Ramsgate, Margate, Whitstable. Uh, they're all coastal towns. Folkestone has actually improved. They've got the new harbour arm, which is a really nice. It used to be the railway station for when Folkestone was a port. Um, let's see if I can find it. I know I can. I know I can. I'm just going to turn off my video capture device. There we are, Folkestone Harbour Arm. So this used to have a railway running along it, and now it's been completely restored and refurbished for the public to walk along. And it is really nice. It is really, really nice. They've got some very nice exclusive some exclusive restaurants along there. There we go. And down over that side, there's an old swing bridge that the railway used to come across, and you can walk across it as well. Um, yeah, it is worth a visit. And if you like sort of arts and crafts and things like that, Folkestone is an up and coming town for the modern day arts and crafts movement. It's got a lot of very independent shops um, on the hill going down to the beach and all that, or going up to the town centre if you prefer. Um, Rye on the Kent Sussex border is also very similar for that sort of thing. Not as big as Folkestone, but very much worth a visit. And I'm not plugging these places because, I'm not sponsored. I've always said I'm a small channel. I'm just talking about what I love talking about. Um, and I'm very passionate about history and, where I live. Um, because there are some incredibly beautiful places. Um, I mean, other National Trust properties you've got close to me are Chartwell, which was the home of Winston Churchill, or one of his homes anyway. Well, it was his home when he wasn't Prime Minister, but he also lived there during the war when he was Prime Minister as well. I think he bought it before World War Two. Anyway, that's beyond the point. You've got Ighton Moat, which is a medieval moated manor house. You've also got Quebec House, which was the home of General Wolfe, um, who won the Battle of Quebec in Canada. And what else? Uh, in Rye, you've got Lamb House. Nearby, you've got, oh, what's it called? What's that? Well, you've also got places like Sissinghurst. Um, in Sussex, you've got Bateman's. Uh, if you love history, sort of around Kent and Sussex, you'll find loads of it. You'll find absolutely loads of it. And, you know, I always wanted to be, I realised I wanted to be in the heritage sector if once I get back into full time work. If I can get back into full time work, I don't know. Um, that's a totally different story for the future. However, the opportunity came to be with National Trust, and obviously I don't drive, so I get a lift from my parents, which is why I do Mondays and Tuesdays, um, because they're around to drop me off there and pick me up in the afternoon. Um, and I chose Knoll over the other properties because Knoll is much bigger. It's the biggest property in the area. I would say it's the National Trust's premier property in Kent. Um, I mean, it's got 19 showrooms, but the entire building itself has 400 rooms, or just over 400 rooms. Um, Part of the house is still occupied by the Sackville West family, um, currently occupied by the seventh Baron Sackville, member of the House of Lords, um, or Lord Sackville, as he's also known. Um, and the the rooms that I showed you are part of the 19 or so rooms that are open to the public. Um, so not even a quarter of the house is open to the public. But the rooms you can see are spectacular, in my opinion. You can't knock it. Um, yeah, so I've sort of I as Miss Chic said earlier, um, going back up, where she says it looks like a scene from the Lord of War and Heartache. I will say this building, Knoll House, has given me so much inspiration. Just standing in the rooms or sitting in the rooms as a room guide, soaking up the atmosphere, soaking up the history. imagining what it was like hundreds of years ago. Wow. I mean, I've learned things about it that I never even knew as a visitor. Um, but it is a genuinely inspiring place. It is so inspiring. Um, everything about it is, and oh, excuse me, I've got the sniffles. One moment. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't think you wanted to hear me sorting out my sniffles. Hence why I also did it off camera. um, where was I? Oh yes, inspiration and all that. I mean, it you could go into one room and feel like you're in the medieval era. You could go into another room and you literally walk into the Tudor period. Then you go, I mean, literally every single room represents a different piece of history. But the cartoon gallery sort of feels like sort of Baroque, sort of 18th century France. It does have that feeling of walking into another world. It is astounding, absolutely astounding, and I love it. I can't say that enough. I absolutely love the place, and I am so glad that I chose it to become a volunteer because um, it really is something special, and I do highly recommend a visit to it. I really do. If you manage to get an opportunity to go, go. I mean, if you go Mondays and Tuesdays, you might even bump into me, and that's something. Depends on where I am during the day, but you know, chances are I will be in the house and ready to answer your questions if I can. You'll only get from me what I know. You won't get any stories, made up stories or anything like that. You will only get the honest facts that I know, and I am doing some research or some basic notes to help me. Um, so eventually there will be. I mean, the thing is, if I can, if I can collect or collate enough information, I could possibly make a video about it. It's doable. I can't actually. There's rules with the National Trust though that you can take photographs in their properties without flash, but you can't film in them because filming is considered um, commercial, um, a commercial activity. Um, so photography is fine without flash in their properties, but filming on video, no, no. We do have to approach members of the public if we think they're filming, and we do have to say, "Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, madam. Um, excuse me," if they're non-binary, of course. Um, excuse me. I'm afraid our policy is we don't allow filming. Um, please could you I mean, I don't go like that. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. When you're in that situation, your gut instinct kicks in, and you react like that. You literally react in a second. Um, it really you kind of take on a second you kind of take on a second nature. Obviously, you need to be polite. You need to be well spoken. That it helps. Um, Politeness, approachable. Let's scratch. He says scratching his neck. Let's scratch well spoken because that's a given anyway. So we'll go with polite, approachable, and Marigold. Hello, hello. I'm just talking about my new voluntary work, which is with the National Trust in Sevenoaks, Kent. Um, so what was I saying? Oh yes, polite, approachable, and informative. And of course, if you don't know an answer to a question, um, you then point the member of the public towards the visitor centre where they will be able to take your details and pass it on to the department that will know the answer to your question. So it's all very well worked out. All very well worked out. And I've been shadowing now for 6 weeks. I've done the Brown Gallery. The, in order of rooms. I've done the Great Hall, half an hour in the Brown Gallery because the house guide I was with was actually covering for someone in the Brown Gallery, and then we moved into the Great Hall. So Great Hall, Brown Gallery, uh, Leicester Suite, not Leicester Suite, Leicester Gallery, Ballroom, the Cartoon Gallery, the Gatehouse, and the Green Court, which is basically where you welcome the visitors on their arrival. They walk through underneath the gatehouse, and you just direct them round to the visitor centre where they purchase their entry tickets or show their National Trust membership cards. And you know, a lot of it is common sense. A lot of it is common sense, really, more than anything. Um, it's not it's not taxing, it's not stressful. You will get questions from visitors that, as I said, you can't answer. But knowing there's people who can, you just need to know where to direct them. Um, it does also help with building confidence, shall we say. It is confidence building, and I've been through a lot in the last few years, and a lot of my confidence has been knocked. Um, I will be honest. In recent months, I went through EMDR therapy for past trauma. I won't go into the details because still, Pandora's box hasn't had its lid closed shut, shall we say? Um, and uh, I still uh, sorry, my parents are watching the rugby. One moment. Would help if I had my door closed. Um, Actually, I'm going to have a quick swig of water. as I said, birthday present, 39th birthday, a present from my sister, a 2 litre sports bottle, so I can keep an eye on my, on my hydration intake, because for a while I wasn't drinking enough water during the day. I'm nearly at the bottom. I should have been at that point at 7 p.m. today, but never mind. I should have finished the bottle by now, but sometimes you don't always want to uh, chug water. Believe me, I've done it, and I have caused myself a mischief in the past. You've just got to try and keep hydrated, especially in the heat wave we're having. Summer has finally hit Britain. Let me put it this way: summer has finally hit Britain. Yesterday was the hottest day of the year at 33 degrees. It is the 8th of September 2023, and the temperatures we are experiencing in Britain at the moment are the type we normally get in summertime. Why didn't we get these temperatures back in June, July, and August? Why now? Why now? Um, it's irritating because at this point I'm normally just sort of, oh, sorry, that's my chair. At this point, I'm normally just getting over the heat waves of the summer, but no, it's sweltering. I mean, sitting up here, my computer is telling me it's 22 degrees Celsius up here at the moment. Um, but I think it's warmer up here. I think it's closer to about 26, 27 because it's sweltering. It's the humidity more than anything that's the worst. Rosea, hello. Sorry, I'm just complaining about the humidity here. It is really, really hot. I don't get it. Summer has finally struck Britain in September. It should be getting cooler, but it's not. It's getting warmer. Warm. Um, sorry, he says, mopping his brow and face. Um, I'm not losing the beard though. I'm growing this for Maximus. The original photos I have for Maximus are taken with me having a short beard, but if you see my Instagram feed where it shows Maximus with a really big bushy beard, that's what I'm aiming for. You know, I want to go for like an Edwardian beard. Um, I'm just gonna. Uh, yeah, it's sort of these style of beards I want to go for. Sort of that's King George V. Um, so he's got the moustache, the beard. I don't know if there's one of King Edward VII. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so something very much like that from with King Edward VII. Um, although I thought he had a much longer beard than that. Uh, let's go with Victorian beard. See, I'm not gonna go for sideburns like that. I mean, look at that. Look at that beard. Oh, oh my god. I was looking. was like to show you pictures of beards. You couldn't even see. Oh god. Oh. Oh, hold on. So I was trying to show you pictures of beards from the Victorian era and of King Edward VII and King George V, and I've forgotten to switch my screen over to screen capture, which meant you couldn't see what I was seeing. Um, so yeah, okay, we'll try again. Right, there we go. There's my handsome face. Now we go to Victorian beards. There we go. Now there's one ambition. Look at that, the moustache going down, sort of um, downwards in like a V shape with the beard underneath. My gosh, I want that. Uh, I did think about trying this style where the chin and the neck are clean shaven, but I don't think it suits me. Um, Mind you, I looked at this one as well. I mean, look at that moustache. Look at that. I mean, that is something to be proud of. Absolutely something to be proud of. Um, or I could go sort of full sort of beard. There's a lot of beards here. I don't think I'll be growing it that long. I don't think I'll be growing it that long. That's just silly. I'm not a fan of these types of beard where the mouth and oh, that is true. That is absolutely true. I won't be doing anything like this because I actually don't like beards like that. I feel if you're gonna have a beard, at least try and go for the moustache look, rather than um, that to me is just daft. I wouldn't say that to a Victorian person, of course. I mean, oh dear, yeah, his hair is like Londo from Babylon 5. I don't think so. Uh, or I could go Charles Darwin. I could go for the Charles Darwin look. Um, Justin, hello, hello. I'm just going to go back to video capture device. Hello and welcome. Yes, I was. You missed the laughing fit. Basically, what happened was I was trying to show people the pictures that you probably just seen on screen, and I hadn't actually switched my camera over so that people could see them. Yeah, and I hope you're doing well as well. Yes, long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Um, there are new videos on the way, I should add, so keep an eye out for them. Uh, but of course, oh, reminder to anyone interested, um, Blood Harvest Ball, the Halloween collaboration. There's still time to join. There are three types of characters you can play: vampire nobility, vampire guards, also known as the Crimson Guard, and slave servants. At the moment, I've mostly got vampire nobility. I've got one ASM artist portraying a member of the Vampire Guard, who I will probably also voice a member of. But at the moment, there are no slave servants. And with the slave servants, they're any species: human, animaloid. If you want to wear makeup and all that and make yourself look like a completely different species, that's what the slave servants are about. They would wear tunics with, imagine sort of um, Roman style, what you imagine as a Roman slave. So tunics under sort of, you could get away with a t-shirt and sweatpants with a tunic over the top. Um, and they basically serve the vampires and are basically held in very low regard by the vampires. Um, but yeah, if you contact me on my social media, if you want to take part, please, 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 please contact me, because I want to make this collaboration the most amazing one possible. And the thing is, I've now moved over to, I only write scripts on request, and I only write scripts for myself and one or two other people who prefer to work with scripts, who I know prefer to work with scripts. Um, but what I do now is I am working with what I call improvisation guides. So they have all the keywords that you need, a bit of the background of the story, what's happening in the story, who the major characters are in the story, and you know, how each section is in, how each sort of faction is involved. So it makes it very easy to follow. And of course, as I say, I list all the keywords in their own section, color coded section, so that and you don't have to use all the keywords. You can take what you wish, but I do ask that some of the keywords are used in the dialogue to tie it in with the story. Apart from that, the world is your oyster. If you want to do audio, you can do audio, because I've got pictures of vampires I can use to represent character. If you want to do video and go all out with costume, makeup, that sort of thing, I'm happy. Basically, long story short, just have fun with it. Be as creative as you want to be. Um, there is one other collaboration I have on the go. I won't go into too much detail here. Most of you know about it anyway. Um, and the same thing goes with that. If you want to do audio, you can do audio. If you want to do video, go all out with costumes and makeup and all that, please do. Um, there are things, and I will say this for both collaborations: I will not expect you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. That is a clear and open promise. In the second collaboration, I have actually got involved in the theme of the storyline. So, yes, I have put myself into the same set of shoes as other people who have been involved in part one. Um, Part two is still in production. There's still some bits and pieces I need to write for Maximus and a few other minor characters that I'm going to be voicing. Um, but yes, yeah, yeah, exactly, Rosea. That's what I want to hear, really, that people are using their characters for other projects on their channels as well. I don't expect these characters to be exclusive to my world. I want them to be seen on other channels being used by other ASM artists, adapting them for their channel. I don't expect it to be a one-time character being used exclusively in my work. I want people to take that character away with them and develop them as they see fit for their channel. Um, and that's the truth. That is the honest truth. As I said, I don't expect anyone to do anything I wouldn't do myself, and that is another honest statement. Um, you can tell I'm a bit more confident tonight because I'm not umming and ahhing or pausing that much. Um, he says umming and ahhing, but you've seen it plastered all over my social media. So yeah, if anything you see interests you, please contact me on Twitter. I refuse to call it by its new name. It is and always will be Twitter. You can contact me on Instagram. I'm now on Threads. Um, I can put my email address is in my about section on my channel, but I'll put it here as well in the chat. So that is my email address, so you can contact me that way, and that is my channel email address. Long story why it has that name, but obviously it gives nothing away about me, apart from the fact that I'm enthusiastic about Great Western. More on that story later, but not tonight. Um, think. Oh, it's so warm. My brain is melting. Um, so yeah, you can contact me that way. I also give access to my Google Drive for certain files, and various projects. So, if you let me know, I can send you what you need in the via the chat in either Instagram or Twitter, or with your email address, I can grant you access directly to the files that way. So all is good. All is good. Um, I mean, it's taken me. How long have we been going? It's taken me an hour and a quarter to actually talk about or at least just over an hour before I started talking about my collaborations. So we're doing all right. Normally I start with them, but I've been so excited about what I'm doing with my life at the moment that that takes importance, that takes precedence over everything else. Uh, so it is all good. What else? What else? What else? Think. Yes, yeah, I do like the tavern music that I use, that I share, because it's a mix of old sea shanties and folk songs, and although a lot of the taverns are inland, um, they just add a bit of atmosphere to the background noise. And I did mix them in also with the background noise of a I think it was a restaurant actually, or a pub, and I got it from Zapsplat. I have a premium account on Zapsplat for um oh so I was just checking if a message has gone through. Looks like it. Yep, yep. What I was expecting has gone through. That's fine. Uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. I've got this account with Zapsplat, so I get access to their gold MP3s. So I get access to the sort of top quality sound effects and background music. Um, I also have an account, obviously, with Pixabay, Pexels, uh, is it Unsplash? Uh, Unsplash, yes. And of course, I've got I use Wondershare Filmora 12, so I've also got access to um, all the software that they provide, all the sort of audio footage that they provide. Uh, where's it gone then? Hmm. Okay, that's okay. I'll sort that out later. It's just a screen that's gone missing from my screen. Um, bum, bum. Oh, and it's gone back to top chat. I want it to be live chat, not top chat. Top chat, da 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 da. Top chat, da 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 da. Those friends get to calling to see. Sorry, that's top cat, isn't it? You can tell it's hot. You can tell it's warm here because my brain is mush. My brain is mush. Um, think, 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 think to think, 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 think to think, 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 think. Oh, I'm thinking, think, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking. I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking. Oh, say, can you see that star-spangled banner wave? Yeah, because it's coming into your summertime, isn't it, Rosea? It's you're coming out of winter as we're slowly moving towards winter, but you wouldn't think it this week. It's been horrible heat-wise. Um, it got up to 33 degrees yesterday, and oh, I felt dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Um, but you know, it, that's the way it goes, really. Um, oh, and I've taken up. If you've seen my Instagram, you will know I've also started doing AI artwork. Now, I totally understand that not everyone agrees with. Well, next time we get 33 degrees, I'll send it your way, Rosea, so you can enjoy it and you can send the cold weather to us, to me, so I can enjoy the cold weather. Anyway, as I was saying, I've taken to using AI to create art for Lord of War and Heartache or character art. I totally understand that not everyone is in agreement with the use of artificial intelligence. However, when you're on an incredibly tight budget, you don't have any artistic skills yourself, except for writing and sort of creating collages from images you find on Pixabay. Um, AI is actually an affordable alternative to hiring a professional artist to because I can't afford a professional artist, you know, and AI is perfect for someone in my position who can't afford a professional artist to create images of the characters I create. And as I say on Instagram, they are not accurate representations of the characters, especially the ones that have already appeared on screen being portrayed by ASM artists. The artwork itself is an alternative representation of their characters, unless, of course, they're audio characters. Therefore, if their faces have never been seen on screen, the AI artwork is therefore the first time you see them on screen, the first time you've ever seen the faces of the characters. And that does make a big difference. Um, and as I said, I totally understand that not everyone agrees with it. But when you're unable to afford certain artistic services, you go with what you have available. And it does what it does for me. Um, it is, I don't see it as a way forward for everybody, but it's a means to an end for me. So, as I say, I tried this. I mean, it's still on my new tab screen. I've tried this Chat GPT because it's free, um, and it's interesting. I don't think I'll use it long term. It's still got a long way to go. It's still got a very long way to go. However, I can see its potential, but I also understand the other side of the coin where a lot of people are wary or even against the use of AI. Again, when you're in the same position that I'm in, you work with what you have available to you. And I've I have used it as a prompt for my writing. I've tested out a few sort of ideas upon it to work with, you know, to sort of see if the ideas work first. And then I never ask it to write me a script. I never ask it to write me a script because I write my scripts myself and I love doing that. Um, and I just put in a scenario. It comes up with like a basic backstory, um, many of which I don't think I will be ever adapting into written work, into a script, because a lot of them, a lot of the things it's come up with are unworkable. Yeah, yeah, I totally understand that, Rosea. And not a lot of people have touched AI. Um, you won't see any AI content on my channel. You won't see any sort of AI visuals on my channel. You'll see them on my Instagram and you'll see them on Twitter. As I said, I refuse to call it by its new name or its current name anyway. Um, it, how shall I put it? For me, it's a way of expressing my characters, a way of expressing myself as a content creator. Um, as I said, they won't appear on screen as characters, um, because mainly I either want them to be the characters I already have from the people or images I already have from Pixabay, but I also want my characters to be portrayed by real people, and work from work from there really. Um, it is difficult. It is difficult um, because all the artwork I create for Lord of War and Heartache is collage, is basic collage work, via or digital collage work. I build up the images by pasting, cutting and pasting other images into place. Um, yeah, yeah, that is one big concern. It's happening here in Britain as well, and it's not going down well with the education system. I'm glad, to be honest with you, I'm glad I'm out of school, because of it's a AI can be abused. That's the problem. AI is so much in its infancy, it can be abused by the wrong people. Um, I do foresee a time when it will become a fully legitimate support service for everyone. But at the moment, it's difficult to say. Really difficult to say. Um, it's great for what I want. It's great for my ideas, putting them into images. Um, but yeah, I totally agree with you. I think I think we're getting too far down the rabbit hole from this. So I think we'll look at changing the subject. Um, how long have we been going? Oh, about 1.5 hours, not too bad. We'll see how far we get before it turns 10 o'clock. So that gives us just over 27 minutes till 10 o'clock GMT here. So anyway, as I was saying before I got into the tangent about artificial intelligence, um, as I say, I've got my collaborations, and if you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, you will know about them. And and I always say this, if you are genuinely interested in joining my projects, my collaboration projects, please, 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 please approach me. I will never approach you because I want your decision to join to be your decision, not mine, yours. And I say this, and I'm looking directly into the camera to say this because I am saying it with the utmost sincerity, the utmost truth and honesty, that I want you to decide if you join my content, my projects, or not. Because it is important that you have your say, you have involvement. You know, collaboration is a two-way street. You're helping me, I help you. And in all honesty, I think that's important. And I will probably make a short out of this section, but yes, it's very important to me because, if you take part in a project that someone's basically said you're on board, not the way I do it, not the way I do it. I know a lot of people prefer it if people approach them with an invite, but I like to prefer it as an open invitation to everyone who wants to be involved. You know, therefore, I don't feel like I'm coercing you into joining. I don't feel like I'm forcing you to do something you don't want to do. I want you, as I've said, to approach me. I will not approach you. And I make that very, very clear. And, the way I run, you ask anyone who has collaborated with me in the past, and they will tell you that how I manage or direct my collaborations is very much a team effort. It's not about me, it's about the people involved helping because they're helping me to bring my world to life. And that is very important that they are comfortable, happy, and feel safe in their roles. That is very important to me. I could go on about this all night if I had to. And I would repeat it over and over and over again to the point that people, and yes, I know I post a lot of tweets. Yes, I know I meant talk about it a lot on Instagram, but everything I create is created from the heart. Everything I create comes from a dream. Everything, every little idea I have has been years in the processing. Years. even going back as far as my teenage years, I have had ideas on the back burner since 1997. I turned 13 in 1997, and that was really when everything started to kind of become reality in my head, and I started thinking about storytelling and creative writing and script writing. Um, I wrote a script back then that was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. It was a sci-fi script, and oh, if you read it, if you were to read it now, compared to what I write for Lord of War and Heartache, you would think, who the heck wrote that script? Because it's dreadful. I look back at it now and I'm embarrassed about how bad it is. The writing is poor, the scenes are short, uh, the dialogue is absolutely abysmal, and it's my own writing. Now, you'll know if you've seen my content. I pour my absolute heart and soul into my content. And yeah, exactly. Everyone has to start somewhere. Um, and I look back and I see how far I've come, to be honest with you. I think my second best script was pretty much the story that paved the way for Lord of War and Heartache. I can't remember its title, but it was set in medieval England, and it was going to be an audio script, but we never got it made. Me and my friends. I obviously started flying solo because I started this channel, as you know, in 2020. So this June, just gone, June 24th, 2023, I celebrated my third year on YouTube as a content creator, um, ASM artist, voice actor, and you know, I am incredibly proud of what has been achieved with this channel. I'm incredibly proud and grateful to everyone who has participated in my work, is currently participating in my work, and is on the waiting list to participate in my work, because it means so much to me that people want to be a part of my universe, my storyline. It really, really does mean so very much to me, and I can't say thank you enough. Um, there was a time when I was doing donations through super chat and all that, but that backfired because things became very short. Long story short, things became very complicated for me, and I found myself in a position of difficulty. Let's just put it that way. And um, I've picked myself up, sorted myself out, but I'm now very, very wary of what I do. Um, it meant I did have to stop sort of showing my thanks in the way I wanted to show my thanks, by supporting the other ASM artists that have been involved in my content. Um, Sadly, I don't know when that'll start up again, but I was immensely proud to be able to make those gifts to them to support their channel. Um, yes, they were very surprised at the gifts, the super chats that I sent them, but it meant a lot to me to do that for them. It really did mean a lot to me because they have worked so hard helping me build my world, They have brought amazing characters to life, and I I just can't thank them enough. I really honestly cannot thank them enough, because without their help, this storyline would have finished ages ago. This whole universe would have finished before it even begun. You know, I never imagined I'd get past chapter one, which was just the story of the Tyrant King, the historian telling the story of the Tyrant King. And now here we are with the Blood Harvest Ball and the caravan and other things involving characters that started out as minor characters. You know, Maximus, Lord Volkov, Horus, Cleone Trajan. They're all now major characters when they all started out originally as minor characters. They have taken over this world, and I couldn't be happier because I am doing it. I am creating it, not doing it, creating it with amazing, beautiful hearted, beautiful souled people who, and I really do mean that. I honestly, truthfully mean that. It really does mean so much to me. It really does. Because I can't do this on my own. This whole world, yes, I do have solo chapters where I create, where I voice all the characters, but there's just too big a story to tell on my own. I can't, I'm not saying I need help, but I'd like help. I'd like help to bring my world to life. I'd like help to breathe life into this world, to give it character, to give it. Hmm, yeah, it is weird, really. I agree with you. Um, and yeah, thank you. Thank you to everyone that's been involved and is currently involved and will be involved, because I know there are people that will be. And I'm not saying that because I'm asking them to be involved or telling them to be involved. If I wanted that, I would name them by name. And I am not that sort of person. I am not that individual that will call out people on camera. I will give shout outs. I will give shout outs. Um, there's a very different line between calling someone out and giving a shout out to someone else. That is a big difference. Um, but yeah, you know, um, exactly. Having other people on board helps to bring different viewpoints into the story. And that is so important to me because everyone performs their characters differently. The thing is, when I do my characters, the characters that I voice, I already know their personalities. I already know how they sound like, and I already know how long or short their tempers are. So I am very linear in the characters that I perform, whereas some characters are just have too much fluidity that means I can't perform. My characters are very rigid, very straightforward in their design, and it becomes complicated if I tried to make them a bit more fluid. They are very, very set in their ways, which is probably why I voice them because I know exactly how I want them. Whereas other characters, need to be treated with a bit more care, tenderness, originality, and individual input, um, which is something I can't do because I know exactly how I want my personal characters to be. Which is why I ask people, which is why I do call outs to take part, because it's very important to me. You know, as I said earlier, I can't do this on my own. The world, the continent of Monarcha and the world it lives in for the Lord of War and Heartache is just vast now. Absolutely vast. Um, I've only mentioned the four other nations. You've got the Plagued Lands, which is also known as where is it? Where is that map? I need to go into the continental map because there's lands and places we have never even visited yet. Uh, Decorative. I'll bring it up on screen once I find it. Marketplace maps. There we go. We'll do that small. Absolutely, it's a new way for me. It's absolutely new for me to use my voice. There we go. Continent of Monarcha. So there are four other lands that we haven't even visited yet. I'll take off the video capture device, lock that in place. So yeah, we've got obviously the Ondarian monarchy, which is actually three realms together. The central province is the Ondarian monarchy. Then you've got the desert realm, also known as Carlet, and the forest realm, also known as Druidia, which are the three main realms of the Lord of War and Heartache. To the west of the snow-capped mountains, you've got Shadowmire, also known as the Plagued Lands, with its capital Bloodspire. This is basically a land full of monsters. It's also the land where the Sklade come from originally, but they also have vast underground cities under the central provinces of the Ondarian monarchy. Um, we'll cover that in a later story, much later. So you've got the Plagued Lands, also known as Shadowmire. To the east of the Desert Realm Mountains, you've got the Kingdom of Avalon, with its capital Lyonesse. This is very much based upon the King Arthur legends. This land, so it's full of knights, um, chivalry, um, sort of Lady of the Lake sort of characters, and mystical swords and all that. So, if you like sort of King Arthur style storytelling, when we get into when the story reaches the Kingdom of Avalon, keep an eye on that. And then to the far east, you've got two uh, continents which are very close to each other. In fact, you've got the frozen wastes of Tundra, or well, they're called the Frozen Wastes, but the actual land is called Tundra, with its capital Cold Harbour, which is on the coast. Very few settlements. If I did a close-up map, you would see there's very few settlements. Obviously, on this map, I've only put on the major cities, and then to the north of Tundra, we've got the Firelands, which is Draconis, with Drakenberg as its capital. This is the home of the dragons, who are playing a significant role in the story. I'll bring myself back on screen, and I can close that down. There we go. So yeah, the story is evolving a lot, and um, as I said, I can't do it on my own. This is why I would love more people to be on board. I would love more people to take on various characters. I have a whole list of characters for the Blood Harvest Ball and the Caravan um, that need to be filled. And I want to find the right people to take them on. But as I said, I won't approach anyone. I want people to approach me. And that way you get to choose the character you want to play and not be dictated by me which character you want to play. Um, that you play. I think it's much more fair if you pick what you want to be. Um, and I will always ask, whatever you say you want to be, I will say, are you certain you want to be this role? Because I'm not going to force you to take a role. I want you to be certain you want that role or that character, whatever you want to call it. Um, because I want to make sure you feel safe, you feel comfortable, you feel happy in what you've chosen. Because I will never put a role onto you. I will never force you to take a role that you don't want. But I will encourage you to choose your role, and then you can let me know. Um, and to be honest, I think we're going to leave it there. It's just gone 10 to 10. We've had a good turnout tonight and said hello to a number of people. Thank you very much for joining me this week. Had a lot to talk about, and of course, finished up with talking about ASMR, voice acting collaboration, and all that. So, it's been a good one this week. I'm finishing on a high note. So, I am going to sign off and end this stream, and I aim to be streaming next week. Whether or not I do is a different matter. But also, I'm looking at streaming perhaps over the weekend on Instagram. So keep an eye out for that if you're on Instagram. Ondarian ASMR Official is my Instagram account. Or if you just type in Ondarian ASMR, the picture is the same as my uh, I'll just turn that off so you can see it. Is the same as my YouTube picture, so I'll bring that up. I've got a thing that makes pictures bigger. So that is also my Instagram picture as well. So look out for that and you'll find me. But if you put in Ondarian ASMR into the search bar, you will find me as well. So I'm going to call it a night, and thank you all for joining me. And I'm just checking to see if there's anything else on my screen. I don't think so. Nope, nope, there's nothing left to talk about. So yeah, I will hopefully see you next week. As I said, I'm looking at streaming on Instagram over the weekend, so keep an eye out for that. And I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.